How many times have you waited for the right moment to start something important? As Napoleon Hill said, "Don't wait. The time will never be just right." The truth is, perfect conditions don't exist, and the longer you wait, the more opportunities you let slip away. Success isn't about waiting for the stars to align, it's about taking action despite uncertainty. Every step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals. Today, I'll show you how to break free from hesitation, take bold action, and create the momentum you need to succeed. Stay with me, because the best time to start is always now. 1. Control your perception. Control your reality. The mind is the greatest battlefield you will ever face. It is not the outside world, nor your circumstances, but your perception of them that shapes your reality. Every day, countless thoughts flood your mind, but ask yourself, are you in control of them, or are they controlling you? A chaotic mind leads to chaotic actions, while a disciplined mind creates clarity and power. This is the essence of Stoicism, mastering your perception to master your reality. Great leaders, from Marcus Aurelius to modern visionaries, understood this truth. They did not let external chaos dictate their actions. Instead, they turned inward, silencing the noise, observing their thoughts, and responding with reason. In moments of crisis, they remained calm, not because they were immune to fear, but because they refused to let it control them. Their strength came from within, from mastering their perception. I used to be easily influenced by my circumstances. As a child, I let criticism discourage me. As I grew older, I let small failures drown me in self-doubt. But then I realized that those around me do not determine my worth. Only I do. I vividly remember standing at a critical crossroads, feeling as if the world was against me. I had two choices: succumb to fear or take control of my thoughts, view the situation objectively, and act. I chose the latter, and for the first time I truly felt the power of a disciplined mind. Now, reflect on your own life. How often have you let fear, criticism, or failure dictate your actions? What if instead you paused and asked yourself, does this thought serve me? When negativity arises, do not fight it. Observe it, acknowledge it, and let it pass, like clouds drifting silently across the sky. This practice is not about suppressing emotions, but about controlling how you respond to them. Picture a fighter in the ring. If he reacts impulsively, he is doomed. But if he stays calm, studies his opponent, and chooses every move deliberately, he stands a chance to win. Life is no different. To win, you must train your mind to remain silent and steady, even in the face of chaos. Start small. Each morning, take control of your first thought. When challenges arise, pause, breathe, and reframe. Over time, you will transform into someone who acts with purpose, not emotion. Mastering your mind is not easy, but it is the path to true freedom. Like taming a wild horse, it requires patience, persistence, and daily practice. But if you commit, you will feel anxiety give way to calm, and fear give way to strength. Take control of your perception, and you will take control of your life. 2. True freedom comes from mental discipline. Freedom, the word itself feels empowering, doesn't it? But pause for a moment and ask yourself, are you truly free? Do you control your thoughts, or are you silently led by fleeting emotions? Do you act with intention, or do you merely react to life's circumstances? True freedom is not the absence of restrictions, it is the presence of self-mastery. As Epictetus said, No man is free who is not master of himself. Imagine waking up each morning with a clear purpose, yet finding yourself trapped in cycles of procrastination, distractions, and excuses. Is that freedom? A person who cannot resist temptations or overcome laziness is not free. They are a prisoner of their impulses. Like a lion raised in captivity, we become so accustomed to the invisible chains of bad habits and fear that we forget the strength we once had. The cage door is open, yet we remain inside, too afraid to step out. The truth is, no one can break these chains for you. No one can train your mind or build your discipline. Only you hold the key. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Mental discipline is the silent, private battle we must fight daily. It is what separates those who merely dream of freedom from those who truly achieve it. So, how do you start? Begin small. Identify one habit that holds you back and commit to changing it. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready, but now. Write it down. Ask yourself, am I willing to do what is right, even when it's hard? Discipline is not a burden. It is the foundation of true freedom. When you master your mind, you master your life. 3. The 3 golden principles to master your mind. Mastering your mind is the foundation of true strength, and it rests on 3 golden principles: awareness, choice, and discipline. Together, these principles form the unshakable pillars of mental resilience, allowing you to navigate life's storms with clarity and control. Without them, you are like a small boat adrift on turbulent waters, but with them, you become the captain of your own destiny. The first principle is awareness. Are you truly aware of your thoughts, or are you silently led by illusions? Imagine walking through a forest and mistaking a rope for a snake. Your heart races, panic sets in, and your mind spirals, all because of a false perception. This is how the untrained mind works, reacting to distorted realities rather than the truth. As Epictetus said, men are disturbed not by things, but by the view which they take of them. To break free from this trap, practice observing your thoughts as an outsider. When anxiety, anger, or fear arises, pause and ask yourself, is this thought real, or is it just a story my mind is telling me? By questioning your thoughts, you strip them of their power, transforming fear into clarity. The moment you see through the illusion, your world begins to change. The second principle is choice. Life is unpredictable, and while you cannot control external events, you can always control how you respond to them. This is your greatest power. A harsh word, a failure, or an unfair situation may provoke anger or despair, but you have the ability to choose a different reaction. The next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, will this reaction make me stronger? If not, why let it control me? In every moment, you hold the power to choose growth over stagnation, strength over weakness. The final principle is discipline. True mastery does not come from fleeting motivation, but from consistent effort, even when it feels difficult. A warrior does not wait for the perfect moment to train. They train every day, regardless of how they feel. Imagine looking in the mirror each morning and declaring, "Today, I will control my mind, no matter what happens." Discipline is not about waiting for life to become easier. It is about acting despite the challenges. Start small. Challenge a single negative thought. Resist one impulsive reaction, or take one step toward a goal you've been avoiding. These small victories build the foundation for a disciplined and resilient mind. Mastering your mind is not an abstract idea, it is the most important battle of your life. Are you ready to break free from the chains of fear, procrastination, and impulsive emotions? The only thing you need to do is start right now. Take control of your awareness, make better choices, and cultivate discipline. These three principles will not only transform your mind, but also your entire life. 4. The difference between reaction and response. Life constantly places us at the crossroads of reaction and response. An insult, a sudden failure, or an unforeseen crisis, these moments test our ability to choose between impulsive emotional outbursts and composed rational action. This choice, simple yet profound, defines the essence of Stoicism. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The events themselves hold little power over us. It's our interpretation and response that shape the outcome. Imagine you're walking through your day and someone's careless words sting you like a sharp thorn. Is it the words themselves that hurt, or is it your interpretation of them? Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. The reality is, pain stems not from events but from the meaning we assign to them. You have the silent, private power to revoke that meaning at any moment. Consider this. You're driving, and someone cuts you off abruptly. Your immediate reaction might be anger, shouting, honking, or even escalating the situation. But would that change anything? A response, on the other hand, would be to pause, take a deep breath, and continue driving safely. This choice preserves your peace of mind and shields you from the consequences of rash decisions. The difference is subtle yet transformative. So how do you shift from reaction to response? Pause. When emotions surge, take a moment to breathe and create space between the stimulus and your action. This is where self-control begins. Ask, does this truly matter? Will this moment hold any weight in 10 years or even 10 days? If not, let it go. If it does, respond with reason, not emotion. Remember, you cannot control the world, but you can control yourself. As Seneca said, we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Our fears, anger, and frustrations are often exaggerated by our minds. Master your mind, and you master your life. I once knew someone who lost a job they had worked tirelessly for. Initially, they reacted with anger and despair, blaming others and feeling victimized. But then they paused, reframed their perspective, and responded with purpose. They used the setback to develop new skills, finding a better job that brought them true fulfillment. This transformation didn't come from reacting emotionally, it came from choosing to respond rationally. We all face moments of adversity, but remember, you are not a victim of circumstance, you are the creator of your response. When the storm comes, don't be the leaf swept away by the wind. Be the rock that stands firm. Strength is not found in avoiding life's challenges, but in how you respond to them. Choose calmness, clarity, and reason, because that is where true power lies. 5. Embrace hardship to build true resilience. Life is not a gentle journey. It is a relentless storm, testing your strength at every turn. Yet, the greatest battle you will ever face is not against the world, your circumstances, or your critics. It is against your own mind. If you avoid hardship, if you shrink from challenges, you will remain a prisoner of your weaknesses. True resilience is built in the silent, private moments when you choose to endure rather than retreat. Think of the sharpest blade. It is forged in fire and shaped by the hammer. Without enduring the heat and strikes, it is nothing but scrap metal. The same is true for you. If you avoid the fires of adversity, you will never become the strongest version of yourself. As Epictetus said, difficulties show a person's character. Each challenge is not a punishment, but a test, a chance to prove your strength. Imagine yourself as a wrestler paired with a tough opponent. Why? So you can grow stronger, more skilled, and ultimately undefeatable. Ask yourself, when life gets hard, how do you respond? Do you complain, curse your fate, and seek comfort? Or do you grit your teeth, endure the pain, and push forward? When someone hurts you, do you let bitterness consume you, or do you use the pain to fuel your growth? When you fail, do you give up, or do you rise again? These moments define who you are. To master your mind, you must stop running from hardship and start embracing it. Here's a truth few recognize. Suffering is a privilege. It is reserved for those brave enough to face it. If you've never felt pain, never been pushed to your limits, never endured sleepless nights wrestling with your struggles, then you have not truly lived. You have merely existed. And existence without growth is the greatest tragedy of all. Look to history's greatest figures. Warriors, leaders, and resilient souls were not shaped by comfort. They faced storms head-on, turned pain into power, and transformed adversity into strength. If you feel overwhelmed today, pause and ask, is this my chance to grow stronger? Can I turn this pain into power? Can I rise one more time to prove I am unbreakable? Seneca said, "Fire tests gold, adversity tests strong men." If you are struggling, know you are being forged. If you are in pain, know you are progressing. Embrace the storms, step into the fire, and let it shape you into someone so strong that even life's greatest hardships cannot break you. 6. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Have you ever delayed something important because you felt unprepared? You wait for the perfect moment, the perfect conditions, or the perfect confidence, yet that moment never arrives. Time moves forward, but you remain stuck, trapped in the illusion that someday, when everything aligns, you'll begin. But perfection is a myth, and waiting for it is the greatest obstacle to progress. Seneca reminds us, while we wait for life, life passes. Life does not wait. If you want change, if you want growth, the time to act is now, not tomorrow, not someday, but this very moment. Imagine a man who dreams of writing a book. He has brilliant ideas and a burning passion, but he waits for the right inspiration, the perfect writing space, or more free time. Years pass, and he never writes a single word. Meanwhile, another person, juggling a full schedule and working in a cramped corner, writes for just an hour a day. By the end of the year, that person has finished their book. The difference? One waited for ideal conditions, the other started with what they had. The truth is simple. There will never be a perfect time to begin. The only perfect moment is the one you take action in. Stoic philosophy teaches us to focus on what we can control, our actions, and let go of what we cannot, like external conditions. Epictetus said, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Do you want to be resilient? Start training now. Do you want to learn a new skill? Begin today. Do you want to change your life? Take the first step immediately. Don't let circumstances define you. Let your actions define who you are. I once heard of a marathon runner who began training with no proper shoes, no coach, and no ideal conditions. Instead of waiting, he ran in worn-out sneakers, studied training techniques from books, and pushed himself daily. He didn't just complete the race, he became one of the most enduring runners I've ever known. He didn't wait for perfect conditions, he created success from what he had. So, what are you waiting for? What are you delaying because you don't feel ready? Stop and ask yourself, can I take one small step today? The answer is always yes. Whether it's improving your health, learning a skill, or acting on a long-held dream, you can always do something right now. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not act as if you had 10,000 years to throw away. Death stands at your elbow." Life is fleeting. Waiting wastes the precious time you have left. You don't need perfect conditions to start. You don't need to feel ready to act. What you need is the courage to take the first step, no matter how small. Life isn't about what you lack, it's about using what you have. Stop waiting, start acting, and prove to yourself that commitment, not perfection, is what carves the path forward. 7. Detach from results, commit to the process. Have you ever found yourself consumed by the outcome of your efforts, measuring your worth by success or failure? We often live as though our value depends on results, a promotion, applause, or a goal achieved. But this mindset is a trap. When you tie yourself to results, you surrender your happiness to forces beyond your control. Stoicism teaches us a liberating truth. We are not defined by outcomes, we are defined by our actions. Detach from the results, and you will find freedom. Commit to the process, and you will find strength. Where does success truly lie? Is it in the final achievement, the applause, or the rewards? If so, what happens when those things don't come? Does that make you a failure? Success is not at the finish line, it is in the steps you take to get there. Epictetus reminds us, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. The more you obsess over results, the more you become their prisoner. Let go of the outcome and focus on mastering the process, the only thing within your power. Think of a fighter in the ring. He cannot control the crowd's reaction, the referee's decisions, or how his opponent fights. But he can control his movements, his discipline, his breath. If he fights solely to win, he becomes tense, anxious, and distracted. But if he fights for the love of the craft, for the moment itself, he becomes untouchable. The result no longer matters, because his focus is on perfecting his actions. This mindset makes him stronger, regardless of victory or defeat. Now, look at your own life. What are you worrying about? Are you stressed over an outcome you cannot control? Ask yourself, what can I do right now? Focus on that. Let go of the fear of failure and the pressure of success. These are chains that hold you back. True freedom lies in committing to the process, not chasing the result. Success is not something you chase, it is something that follows when you focus on the journey. Be like the wave that crashes against the shore, only to rise again without hesitation. Be like the fighter who masters his craft, not for applause but for the love of the fight. Detach from results, commit to the process, and you will find strength, clarity, and true freedom. The perfect moment you've been waiting for doesn't exist. Life will always be messy, uncertain, and full of challenges. But that's the beauty of it. Progress isn't made in perfect conditions. It's made by taking imperfect actions. As Seneca said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Your opportunity is here right now. Stop overthinking. Stop waiting for everything to align. Take the first step, no matter how small, and keep moving forward. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates change. The only way to achieve your goals is to start today. So, what are you waiting for? The time to act is not tomorrow, not someday. It's now.